Hi everyone, this is Steve with Otaku Henshin. We're going to be continuing our Kamen Rider Drive Figuarts videos, and this time we're going to be taking a look at Kamen Rider Chaser. So I've actually had this for a little while now, and it's been killing me not to open it, but I wanted to get an unboxing video done, so I had to make sure not to open it until then. So now that we can finally dig into this box, let's first take a look at the outside of it. We can tell right off the bat that it's a little bit different than the previous two boxes where you can't actually see the figure inside. On the front here, in English obviously, Kamen Rider Chaser, and we see the Drive logo. And then here it just says Kamen Rider Chaser. And we see our typical Tamashii Nation symbol, Bandai. Let's go ahead and just look at each side here. Finally, on the back, we can see Chaser in a couple different poses here, and we can see the Shingle Axe right here and here as well. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at what comes inside. So inside we of course have our instructions. It just shows us the different hands, how to use the Shingle Axe, and putting the helmet antenna onto there, and also how to use the shift bikes. And we can see that they did have this piece separate from the helmet, so that way it actually is a little nicer. It makes it less likely to get broken. You can see some of the different hands right here, and the Shingle Axe is actually really nice and big. So why don't I go ahead and open this up and we can take a look at each piece individually now. So first off, with our hands, we have two hands that are in that more kind of relaxed finger open type of pose. Then we have two hands to hold the Shingle Axe. Here we have this piece of the Shingle Axe, and it looks like that the dark side is meant to cover up the sign on the axe that we don't want to see. And here is the axe itself. Like I said, it is a very decent sized weapon here. This is what I was mentioning, is I'm sure that that's meant to cover, so if it's, for him to go or to stop. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. And we have this piece of the helmet. And then of course, Chaser himself. Let's go ahead and first stick this on the helmet. So now we can see him with that. And now as far as the figure, actually, he is very, very stiff feeling, and it's stiff in a nice way. He doesn't feel like his joints are loose at all, but he still has all of that same posability. As far as comparing to Drive and Mach though, it doesn't seem like his head has quite as much movement. There's still a lot, but I think it's just the fact that his neck just doesn't look quite as long. Like I said, it's not really a bad thing. It's just feels like he has slightly less motion. You can see these on his shoulders actually flap up. Obviously he has the typical motion in his arms. You can see in his elbows and the wrists. And what's nice is he has kind of more motion in the wrist. The other two, it's more of just turning it like this, but his wrist is more like how the Precure are that we've been reviewing, that he has a lot more motion there. You can see in his upper body he's got a lot of motion. You can kind of twist his waist a little bit. And his legs can move around a lot as well. The knees, you can see these twists too. And then in the ankles. And the toes actually don't move quite that much, but it still has a little bit of motion. And then I forgot to actually show this with Mach. We can see how this just flips up on the belt, and we can see his signal bike in there. Let's take some look at the detail on him. You can see on this shoulder, the skull. The tire on the back doesn't move. Take a look at the back of his belt. So I definitely really like this figure. I knew I was going to, and like I said, it feels a lot nicer than the other two. It feels like he's going to actually stay in the pose a lot better. Let's go ahead and get him in some poses for you guys so we can see what he can do. First off, we have him waiting here with the Mate Royo. Let me show you guys exactly how this works now that I had a chance to mess with it. So this front part actually pops off. And you can see where we attached the signal bike there. Sort of. There we go. And then as far as covering these up, this piece, the little plastic piece, pops out. And you can place it however you need to, or if you want to have them both showing, the original one is clear on both sides. Next we have him swiping down with the axe with the Iteiyo. Here's another pose with the axe. This time we can see that both lights are visible. Since we did one with the other riders, I wanted to get a kick in the air for Chaser as well. Finally, I just wanted to take this pose from one of the last episodes. So I really like these three figure arts a lot. I've been comparing them to the Precure ones since I've been reviewing those recently. And while I do really like the Precure ones and they are really cute figures, they definitely just don't have the same kind of posability as these Kamen Rider ones do. A lot of it, yes, does have to do with the hair, but since the Rider ones can be a little bit more bulkier in places, it definitely helps with keeping them more propped. Kamen Rider Drive was definitely one of my favorite shows in a long while. I love Double and O's, but then Forze, while it was decent, wasn't as great as I was expecting it to be. And then Wizard was a huge disappointment. Gaim was okay at first, but I felt that it started to fall flat at the end. So by the time Drive came around, I just really didn't have high expectations for Kamen Rider. I knew it would be okay, but I just figured it wouldn't be anything special, so I'm glad that this one really blew me away. I think that Chaser was definitely a huge part of it, so I'm really happy to have this figure arts of him. I think I am going to also try to get the Machine Chaser figure art, so we'll see what happens with that. And eventually I would like to get the bikes for Mach and Chaser and also the Trideron for Drive, so if those happen, I'll be sure to do reviews of those as well. As far as Chaser, we did have him for sale on our website, otakuhenshin.com, but unfortunately we are sold out, and with him obviously being limited print, we're not going to be seeing any more. We will definitely be trying to stock some more Kamen Rider figure arts. It's been difficult getting the ones that are brand new from the Bandai Premium website. However, with Bluefin, if you guys know about them, they're an American distributor of Bandai items over here, and they have been releasing a lot of the Kamen Riders, but they're usually the older ones. That is where Kamen Rider Sango came from, and we also got Kivala and Gaim from them as well. Kivala is the only one that's still in stock right now. As I've mentioned in past videos, we do still have Ninja and Drive items in stock on our website on clearance, and we're in the process of getting some Ghost and Zyuohger stuff as well. If you're a fan of anime and video games, you can also find all kinds of figures on our website, both in stock and for pre-order. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to keep up with our latest reviews. And you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/otakuhenshinonline, as well as Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching this video, you guys. Stay tuned for our next one with Kamen Rider Sango.